Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson, you're watching Reality Survival, and today we are going to take a look at the Battlbox Mission 37 base camp. I'm a little late getting this out. Here's the card if you'd like to see that. And you will probably see a bunch of these items here pretty soon. Tanner and I are going to take a trip with some buddies of mine, and we're going to go out prairie dog hunting, or shooting. It's not really hunting, you just kind of shoot them. And so some of this stuff, you know, who knows, we may end up you may end up seeing out there on our camp, because we're going to be camping for about a week. And so I'm sure that we will make several videos with you guys and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, with that, let's go ahead and break into this. The first item here is Survival Eye Shield by Survival Metrics. It says eyewear when you need it most, and it kind of comes in this little like film canister deal. And this is kind of a cool concept because sometimes glasses can be very important out in the field, especially if you are in, they got a little protective coating on them, especially if you are in a really snowy environment or an Arctic environment. Let's see, they've got a little adjustable kind of lanyard on here where you can, you know, head strap where you can put them on. And the reason that these can be important, having some kind of glasses to protect your eyes, is because of snow blindness. And I didn't really think that snow blindness was a real thing until I actually had to start dealing with it when we were doing some Arctic training up at the survival school. And you know what it kind of feels like if you've ever been a welder and you have basically kind of burned your eyes with the welder, not like sticking the welder in your eye, but looked at it or something a little too much, and you kind of get what's like an irritation or a blister up underneath your eyelid. And snow blindness kind of feels like that, and it's really irritating. But if you have a little pair of glasses like this, then you can avoid that. So this is kind of cool. This is a very lightweight way to just take and kind of roll up. It's got, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, they got little pads on the back side here. So it kind of keeps it from sticking straight to your face, you know. But it doesn't weigh hardly anything. You can throw it in your pack if you're going to be in a, you know, a kind of a snowy environment or whatever the case may be. And that's gonna definitely help you out if you lose your major, you know, like your main sunglasses or something along those lines. I mean, a lot of people when they go out in the wilderness will take a main set, but I'd say that this is kind of like an emergency backup kind of set. So pretty cool. Not a bad deal. It comes with a little lens cloth as well. That is something that's probably pretty overlooked and often forgot about. So. Not a bad little piece. Okay, the next item is StanSport. Oops. Yeah, here we go. StanSport Collapsible 5-gallon water carrier. Now, this I'm sure that I'll probably be using out there when we go camping, because having water around base camp is important, you know, for sanitation, for drinking, for cooking, for, you know, all kinds of things. And basically, you just fill this thing up at the hose or the sink or wherever. I guess you could do it at the water source too if you're going to filter it all before you put it in here, all that kind of thing. And then you got you a big cube. Comes with a little spigot, so that you can, you know, control when the water comes on and off and all that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. And again, you just kind of just set it up on the edge of the, you know, table or whatever you got there, and then you can just control the on-off switch with the, you know, with the spigot here, and control the flow. They're pretty handy. It's a lot easier to dispense out and measured amounts of water and stuff like that when you've got a little device like that. So that's kind of cool. All right, the next one is the Cortex Outdoor Skin Protection Kit. And this is just a little kit. Comes with a cool little pouch, and it's just got all kinds of little first aid items and stuff like that in here related towards skin protection. I'll just kind of whiz through them here real quick. So we've got some lip balm. I always carry that with me, even in my EDC stuff. I mean, that's important stuff. Some Sun-X 30 sunscreen lotion. Some more sunscreen lotion and a utility towelette. Some IVX pre-contact skin solution. If you know you're going to be somewhere where you're going to get poison ivy and stuff, got a couple of those in there. Got some Bug X 30 insect repellent, a couple of towelettes to wipe down with. That's kind of cool. Some Burn X burn gel without lidocaine, burn relief, so no lidocaine in there. And then a couple of IVX post-contact cleanser, so if you do come in contact with some poison ivy, you can kind of wipe it down with that to help minimize it. And then we got some anti-itch dual action gel. Looks like it's primarily composed of camphor and diphenhydramine hydrochloride. And then we got some Sting X and some hand sanitizer. So just a little pouch that they put together. You could substitute some of these items or fit additional items in here if you wanted. But, you know, pretty useful things, especially if you're going to be spending some time out in the woods and all that kind of stuff. As insect repellent and those kind of things tend to come in handy, especially in the early springtime. I remember one time when I was doing some training up in northern Washington, and the mosquitoes were so thick that we were literally, and I'm not even joking here, we were literally breathing them in. I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, it was so bad. And some people were getting, I mean, just eaten alive. I'm talking 30, 40, 50 bites, you know, all over them. Even trying to, you know, keep our, you know, skin, trying to keep our clothing covering all of our skin and all that kind of stuff. Your face and the back of your neck still gets hammered and all that. I was lucky. I only came away with 4 bites. For some reason, mosquitoes don't really like me very much. But, man, some of my buddies just got hammered. And I swallowed probably 50 or 60 different mosquitoes. I'm telling you, I don't even know how many we ended up just taking in through breathing. Ugh. Okay, so then the last item on the basic is the Stansport Soft Fleece Sleeping Bag. This is 32 inches by 75 inches. Comes in a pretty cool little carrier here. And, you know, this is actually a really cool item, especially if you are, you know, camping in really moderate weather in the late spring or early summer, and you don't want to have a whole sleeping bag or anything like that, or, you know, especially maybe even if you're going to sleep in a hammock or something, you just need, you know, if it's real nice out in the summertime. This is kind of cool. You could add this, add like a silk liner to this or whatever, and probably be fine, you know, down to like 60 degrees or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing, but it's got a zipper on it, so you can zip and unzip it. I mean, it's not the most heavy-duty fleece in the world, but you know, it's gonna work, I think, for a sleeping bag liner for sure. So that's pretty cool. It's also got you a couple of elastic straps for, you know, rolling it up and that kind of thing when you put it, you know, back in the bag. So that's all right. Okay, so that was all for the basic box. The next one is the advanced box, and this is the next item here. Is pretty cool. They call it the Neboa Poppy 300 lumen lantern and flashlight. And when I first saw that, I kind of thought, I don't know about this, you know. You got your flashlight there. It's actually pretty bright. The flashlight portion is 120 lumens, and it's kind of sized in a funky way. It's a big, you know, it's a big light, but it's kind of comfortable to hold and stuff too, you know. So that's all right. Now, then they have the lantern, and a lantern is actually the coolest part of the whole thing. It's not very heavy. The whole thing only weighs, does it tell? Let's see. I don't think it tells. But it's not very heavy. I'd say it's less than a pound, if I had to guess. It'll run this is a 300 lumen lantern, and it kind of shines in all directions, which is pretty cool. And the other thing is it has a variable switch. So as soon as it flashes, now it's down as low as it can. I can't even hardly see because I'm looking at this thing. So now it's down as low as it can go, and that is 35 lumens, I think, on the lantern. And then you can press it again and take it back up. It's like blinding me. And then when it flashes, it's all the way high. So it's kind of a variable switch, so you can kind of have it to however much light you need, which I think is kind of neat. If you turn it, if you just push it down, it'll turn it off. Same thing with the, I thought it was the same thing with this. Maybe it isn't. Constantly variable. I'll have to read the instructions on it. There is a way to vary between the light lumens, and it is dimmable. Oh no, it's the same way. Yeah, you just got to hold it longer. I wasn't holding it long enough. So there it goes down to where it's dimmer, and then hold it again, and it gets bright again. So kind of cool. Gives you the light that you need. It's a pretty compact little package. It takes 3 AA batteries right back in here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Pretty cool little device. I like it. Okay, let's see. The next one is the Vaughn Camp Axe. Now, at first glance, you guys might think, why did they send us a toy axe or toy hatchet? But if you sharpen this up and made a little sheath for it, it'd actually be pretty darn handy for processing kindling, for trimming boughs off of poles and stuff like that. You could actually use this for a lot of different things. It would be handy. It kind of doesn't look, you know, real manly or anything, but when it comes to usefulness, it would be really useful. The other thing that you could use it for is if you have children and they're just learning how to process firewood and stuff like that, this would be a great way for them to learn to do it as well. So it's actually kind of neat. I hadn't actually seen them, any of these before I saw this one, but I think that it could be, you know, pretty useful. And it doesn't weigh a whole lot either. You know, you just use it for processing and stuff. It's kind of neat. Okay, that's all in the advanced box. Now we are moving to the Pro, which is the Kettle Trekker. And I thought this was really neat. I have a similar item as a Kettle, but I haven't ever used, I haven't used it yet. I haven't had the chance to use it yet. We might use it when we go camping here, you know, in May. But this thing is a totally different concept. And I think it's kind of neat. I don't think that this is something that you would carry, you know, if you were going, like in your bug out bag or something necessarily. But it's kind of cool for camping and heating up water and stuff. So the deal is that you can use this thing in, you know, probably a lot of different configurations. But the whole idea here is that you want to build a fire in this little pot here with twigs and sticks and all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to, there's a hole in the middle of it, if you can see that. Then you're going to put this over the top of it, and you're going to heat this, you're going to fill this thing full of water, because it's got dual walls, so it'll hold, I don't know, probably about a liter or so. 6/10 of a liter. It says it boils 6/10 of a liter, or 20 ounces in minutes. So you set this thing over the top of it. You don't want the plug to be in because you don't want it to build up pressure. And then you allow the heat and everything to come through the center of it. And so what that's doing is that's using a maximum amount of surface area to heat the water inside really quickly. And the walls are only like a ½ an inch thick or so. So the idea is that it's going to boil really quickly. And I think that's a cool concept. You know, it's utilizing physics and all that kind of stuff to make it work better. Now it's a little bit bulky and those kinds of things, but I still think it's a great concept. I mean, I like the idea of it. And I'm quite sure that it's going to work pretty well, but we'll just have to see. So anyway, that's the Kelly Kettle Trekker. Now, it's really just for warming up water. I don't think that you would want to, you could use other fluids and stuff, but my recommendation would be just to stick with water, because it's going to be really difficult to clean out pretty well, because that's all you got. It's just that one hole to access the inside, so I'd stick with just water. Okay, moving along. Put that over there. That's all for the Pro Box. Now for the Knife of the Month Club is the Klecker Klacks Lumberjack head, valued at $180 and the handle valued at $30. Now, I really can't wait to get out and try this a little bit, because when I first saw these, before I had ever gotten my hands on them, I wasn't really convinced. Now that I've had a chance to look at them, it's a lot more heavy duty than I thought it was. It really is. I wasn't sure. I was kind of like, yeah, I like the concept. I like the fact that it's small, but I'm just not sure if it's really going to have the kind of strength that you need to do stuff with, you know. But after playing with it a little bit, I think it might be okay. I think it might work out. And I'm just going to have to take it out in the woods and just, you know, give it a shot, because let me just kind of show you how this fits together. Tighten that up there. So basically you've got these like little claws that basically rotate and grab onto this handle. And the handle has actually been pre-machined to fit this. So that's pretty cool, because a regular old handle, you're going to have to do some carving and stuff to make it work. Like if you were just going to carry the head and not the handle, you're going to have to do quite a bit of whittling and fitting and all that kind of stuff to make it work. This is a good hardened hickory kind of handle. I think it's hickory anyway. And I think it'll work pretty good. It's on there pretty solid. It's heavy enough that you could do some damage with it as far as chopping wood and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think that you're going to be chopping any like 6 or 8 inch trees down, probably, you know what I'm saying? But for smaller stuff, for gathering firewood, for trimming, you know, squaw wood off trees, for picking up, you know, dead branches and different things, I think you could do a lot with it. It's also got a little hook back here, little clip. I'm not sure what exactly you would use that for. You may be able to double that as a bottle opener, I'm not sure. You've got like a gut hook right here on it. And then you've got several different bolt sizes. It says it'll do 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, and 3/4. And then you've got kind of a cool little blade. See if I can get it to where you can see it on the back side right here. So it's kind of a multi-use tool, and I think that it would probably be pretty effective as long as it's used in conjunction with the handle. If you weren't using it with the handle, I think you'd have a harder time making it be an effective tool. But the way they've designed it, even if you didn't have the handle, if it lost or if it was broken or whatever the case may be, you can still actually use this thing. Let me show you here. It's built in such a way that you can grab it like this, so that you can still use it for, you know, like clearing bark or delimbing trees or something. And then you can grab it like this, and you can use this part as a knife for shaving feather sticks, for shaving, you know, whatever the case may be. So it's actually kind of a neatly designed tool, and I'm really looking forward to getting it out there and giving it a try and just seeing how it works. So anyhow, guys, that is the package for this month says it gives you a $370 value. You know, I mean, you have to look it up and see what you think for yourself as far as value and price and all that kind of stuff. I think that all the stuff that they gave in this particular month is pretty useful stuff. If you're a person who spends some time, I don't know if I showed you, this is the sheath that it all comes with, the clacks comes with too. I think it's all pretty useful stuff as far as things that you could use, you know, if you spend time in the woods or if you spend time camping and those kind of things. So, you know, not too bad. Anyway, guys, as always, I definitely look forward to seeing your comments. Let me know what you think about this. I think Battlebox has learned their lesson from I think this was April, right? Or this was March. From April of last year, they kind of pulled the April Fool's joke on everybody, and it seems like to me they've gotten a lot better. And they're sticking to useful things that people are wanting. I've always said that I think there are two types of people who might be interested in getting a Battlebox subscription. I don't think that this is a way for somebody who's just getting into prepping to build up your preps. Okay, I don't believe that at all. I think that it makes the most sense for people who are gear whores and they buy a bunch of gear anyway each month, and they like the surprise of getting the box and seeing what's in it and going through it and going out and testing them. If you've got the extra disposable income to do that, it makes sense to me. The other way that I think Battlebox makes it easy to use is that if you can go back and buy previous month's boxes. So if you saw a box and you're like, man, I really want all those things in that box, you could go back and buy those individually and, you know, probably get some degree of a discount for the volume buying that they do. So anyway, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.